Welcome. Today, I want to share a truth that most men never truly understand. And trust me, once you grasp this, it changes everything about how you see attraction, attention, and emotional connection. So, lean in. Have you ever noticed how a woman's behavior shifts the moment you pull back? Suddenly, the warmth you once felt seems to vanish. Her words, her tone, her energy, they all change. And here's the thing, her reaction reveals far more about her psychology than anything she ever said when you were the center of her world. Attraction is easy when it flows naturally, when both sides are equally invested. But the instant your focus drifts, when you stop chasing, the real patterns emerge, and they aren't always what you expect. For decades, we've been told that women only respond to consistency, devotion, and constant attention. And yes, those things matter at first. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment she senses your attention waning, the very consistency she once valued suddenly loses its appeal. Instinct, pride, and raw emotion take over, and the way she responds tells you exactly how she prioritized you. Some women react with panic, some with coldness, and some act as if you're invisible. It's confusing, especially if you've been conditioned to believe relationships are simply about effort and steady care. But when she senses your interest fading, her reaction is pure, unfiltered psychology. Part ego, part instinct, part subconscious test of your worth. This isn't about manipulation or games. It's about understanding the emotional currents that rarely get spoken aloud. If you've ever wondered why she suddenly texts more, becomes distant, or acts unpredictably the moment you stop making her your top priority, today you'll see why. And more importantly, you'll learn how to interpret it without losing yourself. Sometimes, she gets colder than ice overnight. Not every woman responds to fading attention by chasing. Some retreat completely, becoming distant, detached, almost unrecognizable. One day, she's playful and warm. The next, her replies are curt, her laughter minimal, her presence in your space guarded. Why? Often it's a protective measure, a way to emotionally check out before you can hurt her. She's saying, without words, I reject you before you reject me. This coldness isn't personal, it's control. By detaching, she attempts to reset the emotional balance, regain power, and test your value. And here's the trap most men fall into, the urge to chase, to apologize, to overcompensate. That only confirms to her that she still holds influence over you. Picture this, you've been texting daily, sharing jokes, making plans. Suddenly, work demands your attention, and your replies become slower, less frequent. The shift is noticeable. She no longer laughs at your humor with the same energy, avoids eye contact, or keeps her phone closed during conversations. She's not merely busy, she's signaling, testing, measuring how your withdrawal affects her dynamic. Then, she seeks your attention again. Here's one of the most fascinating aspects of human behavior. When women perceive a man's interest waning, they often attempt to draw him back. The same woman who seemed distant last week may suddenly text more, laugh louder, or find excuses to be near you. It's rarely about falling in love all over again. It's about subtle triggers, ego, validation, and the fear of no longer being desired. Human beings are wired to notice change in emotional energy. When you gave her constant attention, she felt safe and secure. When that energy disappears, uncertainty creeps in, and uncertainty drives desire. It's not love in that moment, it's a primal pull, a test of what's slipping away. Many men misinterpret this. They think sudden interest equals renewed love. But more often than not, she's responding to the absence of attention, not the presence of affection. Once she senses your focus is back, the pattern can easily revert. Consider this, you've been messaging every day for weeks. She starts responding slowly, with one word answers. You step back. No more instant replies, no daily check ins. 3 days later, she texts, "Hey, stranger, how's it going?" She engages more, likes your posts, laughs again. It feels magical, but it's not. It's the realization that your presence isn't guaranteed. And then she flirts with others. One of the most misunderstood reactions is this: when women sense your attention fading, they often shift it toward other men. This isn't always about genuine interest. Often it's a subtle way to test, provoke, or measure your reaction. By demonstrating desirability elsewhere, she reminds you she still has options and triggers your emotional engagement. Men caught in this can spiral, questioning if she's moving on, if she's replacing you, or if pulling back was a mistake. That mental tension, that's exactly what she's provoking, subconsciously, often without realizing it herself. She's testing, gauging whether you'll chase, whether you'll invest more to regain her attention. And here's a reality many men struggle to accept. Her focus on others isn't necessarily betrayal, it's strategy. Emotional strategy, yes, but a natural one rooted in survival instincts, pride, and self validation. Recognizing it for what it is allows you to respond deliberately instead of reactively. Next, she may play the victim. Another common reaction is subtle emotional manipulation. She frames herself as hurt, as if your withdrawal is abandonment or neglect. She may remind you of moments you changed, accuse you of indifference, or craft a narrative where you're the one at fault. This works because most men are wired to avoid being seen as callous. The result? You overcompensate. You explain, apologize, or give more attention than you should. The cycle traps you, feeding her sense of control. Here's the hard truth: not every emotional display is pure. Sometimes it's a test, and if you always respond out of guilt, you're allowing your own respect and boundaries to be compromised. Stay compassionate, yes, but alert. Observe the pattern over time. If distance preceded the victim act, it's likely a tactic, not a transformation. She might also push your buttons. Instead of direct pursuit, some women test your limits subtly. Delayed replies, cancelled plans, bringing up topics she knows irritate you. These are small but deliberate ways to gauge your emotional investment. She wants to know, will you stay composed or will you bend under pressure? React emotionally, and she regains control. You find yourself apologizing, explaining, trying to smooth things over, even when you were the one who stepped back. The smarter response? Composure, calmness, observing without being drawn into conflict. If your energy remains steady, she must decide whether to adjust or risk losing you. Sometimes, she pretends not to care. One of the most confounding responses is indifference. Outwardly, she may act entirely absorbed in her own life, almost as if you're irrelevant. Texts go unanswered, interactions are minimal, and she broadcasts the message, "You don't matter to me anymore." But this is often a front, a defensive shield. The withdrawal of attention has affected her, but she masks it by appearing unbothered. The goal? To test your reaction, to reverse the emotional pressure onto you. Men often misread this, taking it as disinterest. Pride takes over, and they may feel compelled to prove their value, to chase again. This is exactly what she anticipates. Emotional restraint on your part forces authenticity. Eventually, her true feelings surface, revealing whether her disengagement was genuine or strategic. And when subtlety fails, she makes a direct attempt to pull you back in. Affection, warmth, reminders of past joys. Suddenly, she's sweeter, more engaged, more attentive. It feels like a rebirth of the connection you cherished. But pause. Ask yourself, where was this energy before she sensed your interest fading? Often, it's not about renewed love. It's about security, about regaining emotional balance. Enjoy the warmth, but stay vigilant. Lasting connection is proven over time, not in reaction to fear of loss. Without careful observation, you risk falling into a repeat cycle: withdrawal, testing, temporary affection, and back again. Here's the ultimate truth most men resist. Strong reactions to fading attention don't always mean love. They often mean she dislikes losing the control your focus gave her. It's difficult to hear, but it's empowering when you understand it. By recognizing these patterns, you protect your self respect and emotional clarity. Think back. Has a woman ever suddenly changed the moment you pulled away? Did she grow colder, sweeter, or make you question her loyalty? That is psychology at work. Recognizing it gives you choice to reinvest wisely or to preserve your own boundaries. Because the reality is this: understanding her reaction isn't just about decoding women, it's about safeguarding your self respect. The men who thrive aren't the ones constantly chasing, they're the ones leading, aware, and composed. And if you pay attention, the next time you see these patterns, you'll understand. Attraction is never just about attention, it's about balance, value, and emotional intelligence. And that is what sets a man apart. So take this insight with you. Observe, don't react. Stay calm, stay grounded, and honor your own worth. Because when you do, you become the man a woman chooses, not because she has to, but because she truly wants to.